next move here on the board with the spy coming forward.
Yeah, so there's a little bit of lag. I don't know if it's for everyone or just for me, but I don't see the updates on your screen yet, on your feed
Yeah,
yet.
the Twitch stream is about 5 to 10 seconds behind the actual audio on our end. Twitch made a change a few days ago that adjusted that.
Gotcha. So I think that my screenshot is in sync though. Am I moving the spy down south?
Yep.
Yeah,
You've got him right next to the speed tile.
So yeah, I had to deal with that threat. Clearly, that archer there was not going to be any good for me. So I needed to get that blocked off. I wanted to get my pyro up and in range of the speed tile. Pyros on speed tiles are scary things, and so I wanted to kind of counter your threat with a threat of my own. Of course, archers hate spies, so that kind of locks down that lower archer of yours. The open gap beneath the medic is okay for me because your archer is such a poor melee attacker. So that was okay for me to have that gap there, even though your archer's on the speed boost range. Other than that, I was really looking at trying to use my heavy hitters, the soldier, the pyros, to start putting some threats on your upgraded units. It was a bummer for me that the Girardi had to come out on an armored unit, so that's a bit of a problem for me. I have to look for ways to take out your helmed and shielded units without that. So and I don't have a Girardi in hand at this point either. So yeah, that move was just to counter and bring a new threat near that speed boost tile.
All right. So with this move, I'm officially out of ideas because this arms race has gotten so crazy. I'm basically to the point where I don't think I can keep my guys alive anymore and still turn tiles. So I'm basically throwing my knight as an offering and saying, take my knight, it will take you a turn to kill him, and with that I will turn 2 more cards, and good grief if the ninja is the last card in my deck, then I'm just going to commit seppuku or something. Let's see, so what did I put on the board here? The archer and the shield, so I dropped my last archer on the board here. I shield this archer, so now I've got kind of 3 units that are going to have a bunch of defensive upgrades here, and obviously that third shield was lost with the wizard on the opening play. But yeah, this is a pure. I'm sacrificing this warrior because, or I'm sorry, this soldier. What is he called? Is he a warrior? Knight? Gosh,
He's a knight,
I'm totally
yeah.
totally losing it here. Yeah, I'm just sacking him to buy time. Like this is not a trade. This is a I'm trading I'm trading your AP because I want to set up that ninja.
One of your lesser units. Yeah.
Exactly. Because there's nowhere else on the board that he's going to be safe. Like you've reached this critical mass of TF2 offense where there's just so many threats everywhere that I can't keep everything safe. So at least if I can control what is unsafe and make that unsafe stuff as wimpy as possible, then the game can continue. And I do, thank God, finally draw my ninja, and I get the Inferno to boot. So after like 6 or 7 turns of just pure card turning and offensive build up for both of us, I get the card that I wanted about 7 turns ago, and I think I raised my arm in satisfied glee and sarcastic glee when this happens. So now I can finally begin my offensive plan in earnest, because really I've just been playing a defensive game until now.
Yeah. And lesser though they may be, you still want to take units off the board. So I took that offering.
Yep.
And I think I just double stabbed him with the spy.
Yep.
And then landed the spy on the speed boost tile, which is a nice place for spies to be. And then awaited your incoming offensive, which of course was in the works.
So that was a forced move. Not too much to talk about there. So now the fun begins. So I'm going to get my ninja out, and so how exactly did the mechanics of this work? Oh, I had an opening back there. Okay, so
I think there may have been some ninja swapping going on there.
Yes, that makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah.
So there's two things going on here. I need to get my wizard up into safety because this pyro is going to be threatening to him, and also I want this this ninja to be safe. And what this opens up here as I pre-scroll him is like a 1, 2, 3. I'm drawing on the screen, but you probably can't see it. A 1, 2, 3 next to that medic, and then a nice little stabby and a stomp. So now basically my goal is that you will always have to keep units completely occupying the tiles around the medic from now until the rest of the game. That was my goal earlier. Now that there's so many units on the board, it's going to be a little bit easier, but here's where I really want to constrict you, because not only do you have to mount an offense against this formation, but you've got to keep that medic safe at all times. And so hopefully, with the amount of units on the board, it's kind of like your options just become so narrow, because
right.
You always have to be playing within that constraint. That my theory is that I'm going to be able to open up the rest of the board and either get good trades or force you into some sort of mistake where you unintentionally give up that medic through, like, I mean, you're obviously an excellent player, so you're not going to give it up in like a one-turn combo, but maybe there's some sort of really clever two-move combination that is able to like catch you off guard or force you into position.
Some collateral damage here,
yeah.
Some ranged ninja attack here.
Yeah, some two-move combo that opens up a scenario where it's just impossible to save. And that is really my offensive plan going forward.
And I mean, there's maybe no better, when it comes to just targeting and taking out a particular unit, there's maybe no better unit in the game than a scrolled ninja.
Mm-hmm.
So it definitely makes the board a lot more dangerous for me, and it becomes a real juggling act, keeping all of the dangerous holes plugged. And so that's definitely I was definitely not happy to see that come out on the board, even though I knew it was coming.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tough thing to come out there.
Okay. As for the rest of the board, I am pretty scared about this spy on the speed tile. That's making me a little bit sad, but at the same time, he is pretty far forward, and he's kind of begging to be traded away. So that's something I'm going to think about going forward. But let's take a look at your next move and see what you got going here. So we've got this. This is where you linked up the soldier.
Yeah, and I'm not positive that my screenshot is in order, so I'm going to wait for your screen to update here.
Okay. Oops. There we go. Let's see. Trying to see exactly what turns were played on this one. So it looks like you swapped the medic link. You upgraded the sniper, moved the sniper up. You moved the scout up. You deployed the heavy, and you swapped the link onto the soldier.
Yeah, so I'd had the heavy in my hand for a while, but I just hadn't had an opportunity to get him out there. And as you said, it's a nice. It's good to have those out on the board, especially when the center those center attack tiles are important, just because he can be such a threat for those hitting 4 or even 5 units at a time kind of moves. That sniper moving forward was of course crucial. I had no choice about that. I had to plug that hole. And beyond that, I was anticipating. I thought that putting that charge on the soldier gave me a lot more flexibility over kind of the real fixed attack options of the sniper. Mm-hmm. So I was anticipating trying to use that soldier as a threat to leverage either some KOs or to get you moving away from that center area.
Mm-hmm. So let's see how I follow this up. And this is the de facto TF2 strat of just setting up so many threats on the board, because that soldier is a big threat now. And you also got the 2 snipers, got this spy on the freaking speed tile, thankfully without a sandwich, for God's sake. And then this pyro up here, like there is a lot for me to think about on this board, and this is really, really classic, strong TF2 play. So let's see what I follow this up with. And I just do the simplest of moves. I waltz that archer right up there, and I smack that soldier in the face 3 times. And the theory here is that this archer is actually safe from counter kills without a Girardi. I attempted to look at all the threats, and there's a bunch of them on the board. And this is why it's so hard to play this as council, because you got to account for all these things. So first, let's look at the spy. So the spy on this speed tile, he can't really get around because the knight is covering his back. So we're good there. How about this pyro? Well, this pyro can come up here, and it could. I don't think it could even KO with the 390. I think the archer would stand up to that, so he's safe. What about this pyro? Well, the pyro can come over to the attack tile, and fortunately, the attack tile takes even the pyro on the attack tile takes 3 to KO
a full strength.
A +2 archer, so I'm safe there. Sniper isn't going to do anything on his own, so I'm safe from the archer dying, so that's good, thank God. And also, this is an AP efficient trade for me, because it's going to take it took me 3 AP to take out that soldier. 4 if you count him moving up, or you count the archer moving up, but that's a one-time cost.
Yeah.
But in order for you to restore the board to the state that it was in, you have to spend 3 AP healing that soldier, and then you have to spend another linking it up. So it's basically a 3 AP for 4 trade, and I'm not losing anything, and I'm also advancing my board position. So I'm taking the small victories here, and hoping that this is going to set me up for something good later on. And keep in mind that every unit that I advance forward is going to be a unit that I can swap my ninja with, and all I need to do is sword this ninja and get him within 1 tile diagonally of this medic, and I'm going to be able to one-shot it. So that's really what I'm hoping is going to open up for me in the coming turns.
Yeah, it was a strong move, and I think any time that you KO those threats that have been linked, like you said, the AP gain in that of having to not only heal but also restore that link if you want to maintain that offense, it definitely was a good move there. Not only that, but it ended up it kind of forced me to respond with my spies, because I need to cover those areas where your archers were able to jump in there and deal some damage. So it forced me to kind of give up some things that I didn't want to give up.
I'm on to your next turn now.
For example, that spy being on the speed boost tile. So yeah, I chose not to end up restoring the full health and link, and just healed once after rezzing, and then brought the spy up for blocking, and then I think I took a couple shots at that archer. I could not let that archer stay there, and so I knew that if I kept those up with the spy there, that hopefully that would cause a little bit more pressure and get some control of the center board back to me.
Mm-hmm. So here is the start of my offense. And unfortunately, I'm giving up my last Inferno, so that's going to make things a little bit more difficult for me. But I've got all these well-upgraded ranged units. I've got all 3 archers on the board, and I've got that wizard who has been extremely useful in this game, sitting on those deploy tiles, keeping them warm with the Girardi. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to move this knight up, and because that spy had nowhere to be knocked back because the soldier behind him is occupying that tile, I can just whack the spy in the face 2 times, and then Inferno, and then stomp with this knight. And a knight and a Inferno for a spy is a great trade if you can stomp, because that's 1 less row that you're going to be able to block off.
Right.
And it's just going to open. It makes all my archers much more potent offensively. And it also provides a difficult challenge for you because you've got this this archer here that's +2 and is like super vulnerable. But you have this knight here, and you really have to do something about this knight, or at least account for it, because it is swap bait for this ninja. Additionally, this knight can also trade with some of these other units down here. So there's this follow-up threat there. So you've got 2 threats on the board, and you have to sort of pick one to deal with as best as possible. And let's see how you accounted for that there.
Yeah, I thought about this move for a long time to make sure that I wasn't going to lose that medic, because obviously with the burst, or with the area damage of that Inferno, there was a lot of damage going around there. So I think number one, anytime you can take off modded archers when you're facing Council, you've got to think long and hard about taking that opportunity. And so this was a case where I just couldn't pass up that opportunity. Even though leaving that knight there, once I made sure there was no way that you could pull any shenanigans that would get the medic, I went ahead and took that offered archer that hadn't been healed yet. So moving the pyro forward, hitting that and stomping with the scout, and then doing some healing to make sure that it wouldn't be too easy to knock off the soldier and the spy up front. The pyro down low is still wounded, which I was concerned about, but I just felt like I couldn't pass up the opportunity to get one of those archers off the board.
Yeah, no, I think this was an excellent move, and this was one of those where it gets to the point where with small amounts of units on the board, you can pretty much account for every possibility about 2 turns out. But in a scenario like this, where there's just, I mean, we both have like 9 or 10 units on the board, and they're all pretty souped up. The best I could really do is put you in a tough position and kind of throw my hands up and say, like, let's see how he handles this, because it's just impossible to account for all the possibilities. And I think you picked you certainly have the right heuristic for picking off the units, which is 1, don't lose medic, 2, get the highest value unit you can, and if you satisfy both of those, then you're probably in good shape. And that's exactly what you did. Yeah.
Was this about the time that we started saying "here goes nothing" every move?
Every move. Yeah, it's like one mistake and this thing's over. So let's see what I follow up with here. I basically take out that pyro. So we're starting to trade units left and right here. The reason I want to take this pyro out is I want to force you to kill this knight, because this knight is swap bait for this ninja, and with this pyro here, you could certainly trade for some juicy units back in my side of the board, but I want to force you to have to deal with this knight instead, because this knight is a low value unit to me, and not only am I going to pick up a pyro from it, but if you don't take care of it, which is a high value unit, so I'm trading a knight for a pyro, so that's a great trade on its face. But also you're not going to be able to take out any juicy units here, and you've got these 2 units here, the scout and the pyro, that are very isolated away from your main army. And if I force you to spend AP killing this knight, then I'm going to get one of these guys too in the following turn, because they're so isolated that there's no way that this medic's going to be able to come up and save them. So I'm thinking, ooh, I'm going to get this pyro, and the turn after that, I'm going to get one of these guys too. So I'm thinking 1 for 2 here, and I've also got this persistent threat on this medic that you have to take care of, because this ninja, he ain't doing anything back there, but it's just that threat sitting on the board that is constricting the possibilities that you're able to play.
And the other danger for me, I mean, TF2 has the most units of anybody in the game, but as things started to thin out, it becomes harder and harder for me to keep all of my bases covered. And so 1 more unit off the board, it's one fewer blockers that I've got to block off all those squares from your hungry ninja over there.
Yeah, I'm always thinking, like, trading 1 for 1, as long as I trade decently, like, eventually there's going to be the longer this game goes where I don't completely mess this thing up, the better it's going to be for me. All right.
You could probably say that about most games. But
Yeah, that is true. I mean, in general, Hero Academy is last mistake loses. So
Yep.
So
Avoid
let's
the errors.
let's go on to your next move here. You have linked up the soldier again. You've got a demo man on the board, and you've moved the sniper up.
Yep.
And you took up the knight.
Yeah, so that was I knew that, like you said, that knight couldn't stay down there, and so to try and maximize the efficiency of that, I took him out with that. No, wait, I guess I didn't gain AP from that Uber charging, did I? So that would just be in preparation for future turns there. What is it now? Is that right? Does an Uber charge soldier go over 500? I forget.
Yeah, he goes over 500. So you're able to two-shot the knight with that.
He does. Okay,
so it was basically a free. It was a freebie.
It was an AP save. Yep. So a free AP. I get the charge, take out the knight, then stomped with the sniper and got that demo man forward. The demo man is of course great whenever there's clumped units that you're facing. It is a bit problematic when you've got a pre-Girardi sitting out there because it limits your options if you don't want to lose that. And so I wasn't. I was a little bit conscious of that. I definitely wanted to take out that pre-Girardi wizard, but it was with that lower clump. I knew that it would start to put some pressure down low, so I was looking to get him down, get him involved down in those lower rows.
All right, let's go to my next turn. So this is phase 2 of my plan here, where this pyro is on the board and he's in no man's land. So I'm going to complete the trade on my end, take what I'm given here. And
2 turns away from the medic, even if I wanted to risk moving him out there.
Yeah, so this guy's vulnerable, and this was my game plan. Largely was spread out your units, and if there's you can't have units everywhere on the board because I'll be able to pick off one here or there, and you won't be able to risk that medic coming out. So this is me trying to execute on my game plan. I would love to get this scout too, but there's just no way to pick it off with the dynamics of the wizard chain. Yeah, the knockback. So the best I could do is move this wizard over and then just whack him 4 times, and that forced him back there, but forced the scout back a little bit. But really, the prize is the pyro,
which I hate to lose. Yep. I certainly didn't want to lose my second.
And so I'm moving on to your turn here, where you respawn it, and then a lot happened in this turn.
So I had 2 respawns in hand. Really, I mean, we were both pretty much down to our final tiles, anyways. But this was a tough call because again, those respawns when you've only got 1 healer, pretty crucial. So this was a precious respawn here, but I felt secure at least having 1 respawn. That if I had to take a scroll or whatever. At least if I could save 1 respawn in hand, I felt pretty good about keeping the medic safe. And I didn't like getting down to just the soldier left as far as the high damage units. So I definitely wanted to maintain the pyro's ability to go through units, and as a high damage unit of taking out a Girardi'd opponent. So I felt like I had to use that respawn there. I don't know. What do you think about that? It's debatable.
I think it was a good call. It's a little bit hard to say because the game could just go in so many different routes. My general rule is respawns only on medics, pyros, spies, and heavies, and I think it's really hard to say.
It's also
maybe leaving it for the spy.
Too long.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. Maybe the only thing I could see it being useful for, other than the pyro, is for the spy.
Yeah.
But yeah, you go ahead with your point about hanging on too long.
Yeah, I've had cases where you don't want to. I mean, the respawn token is really only as valuable as the unit you use it on. So if you hang on to it for too long and there never becomes an opportunity to use it on anything but, say, an engineer that gets left KO'd, you've decreased the value of that respawn. So I thought this was a good opportunity to at least get good value out of it. A pyro is a top tier unit, and I wanted to make sure that I kept multiple high damage units, not just the soldier. So, anyways,
yeah, no.
So I saved it, brought it back in. And and moved the scout to safety, I believe. Is that right? Yeah.
No, you jar sniped my archer. This
Oh, I'm
this
looking at the wrong.
this
I'm looking
was
at the wrong,
this was the crazy move. Like,
That's
frankly, I thought
right,
the
that's right.
the respawn token was the least interesting part of this move because
That's right. I was looking
this
at the
jar
wrong
snipe
screenshot.
really surprised me. I was not
Yep.
expecting you to do that. So tell me
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah, so this was when I was looking at your units there, I saw as far as armor upgraded units that armored and helmed archer was the one left, and I'm trying to remember what it was that I was most concerned about. I thought that with the scout in that forward position, which I might not have the opportunity again, and sniper of course locked and loaded, and that archer right there, I felt that it was too good an opportunity to get one of those high value units off. Now obviously you always want to have that jar include a sword.
Yep.
I mean, that's the ideal Jarati, is an armored and sworded unit, so it's not an ideal Jarati. And I remember you commenting on this move because it was not expected. But yeah, my rationale was that, I mean, TF2 doesn't generally have trouble dealing damage, like, unless it's these units that have the double, the helm and the sword, or the helm and the shield. Now that said, I mean, of course, with their base damage, they aren't able to two-shot hit without help. So it's true that there is that issue. But I felt that with that double protected archer off the board, A, it's one less archer. B, I'm taking two of your protection equipments off the board as well. And so I think that all you have left for protection-wise is that helmed wizard.
Yep.
Is that correct? Do you have any more armor on your
No,
rack?
that's it.
No. So yeah, I wanted to reduce your offensive threats, and I wanted to get rid of units that would have defensive staying power. So could I have waited until you deployed a sword somewhere, either on the... But that's just it, is I didn't think that you would even have put the sword on that archer. You know, where would you have put a sword?
It wouldn't have been on that archer.
Right. So, I mean, would I have gotten better value elsewhere? I'm not sure I would have. Where would I have gotten better value?
Yeah, so the interesting thing about that move is I was basically, like, I've had this sword in my hand for a long time, and the reason I was basically, as long as you had that Jarati left, I wasn't going to play this sword.
Yeah.
And that's the reason that I did not put it on this ninja, because this ninja could have been a better threat to your medic with this sword, with the sword on there. It opens up the avenues for sniping it off. But I left it off this ninja because a pre-scrolled sworded ninja is just like, please Jarati
You can't pass
me.
that up. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like so obvious, but at least leaving that sword on there makes it a tougher decision for you. And now that this Jarati is off the table, now it's like, okay, now I'm free to play this sword on the board, and I want to get it out there as soon as possible. Now, do I actually do that? I'm like skipping through the turns to see if I actually do it. No, I don't think I do. But at least it opens up, like prior to this move, I was I was not going to play that sword on the board, but now I definitely there's no reason to keep it off the board now. I'm definitely going to be putting that on in the near future, and so let's check out my next move here. This one. Okay, so now it starts to get a little bit crazy. So I'm going to move my wizard down, and I'm going to knock out this these two units here. And this is just pure opportunism on my part, because I'm saying that I've noticed that this spy, we talked about this earlier, it doesn't have the upgrade. It doesn't have the engineer upgrade on it. And so because this wizard is helmed, it's going to take 2 stabs to take this wizard off the board. And so if you want to use the spy to kill the wizard, you got to go up here, and you got to go down 1, and you got to do 2 stabs, and then you can stomp and do something else from there, either heal or retreat it further. And I believe that if you retreated it further, I was going to I would actually have considered burning the scroll on this. Let me see what you actually responded with here. Oh, interesting. Okay, I misremembered what happened here. It looks like you didn't actually take the bait. Basically, I figured that it would not be worth it for you to send this spy out into danger to take out this wizard, and so I'm thinking, hey, free units. I like free units. Again, taking advantage of this medic's got this limited range, so any units outside that limited range are vulnerable to my units picking them off, and I do end up getting a scout out of this sequence here.
Yeah, it was, that's an awkward area. I couldn't really do much to save that scout without basically just getting the medic out of position. So the scout had to go, and then.
Can I interrupt you for a second?
Yeah, please.
The reason that you could not take it, with the spy, is if you had changed the wrong screen here. If you had moved the spy over 1, 2, 2x, and then stomped, you would have the spy here with 1 AP left, and you would actually have had to block this tile over here where the sniper was from the ninja, because the ninja could
Who could have zoomed in?
Yeah, he could have zoomed in. Maybe not if the spy was. Well, so if the spy is on the same square as the wizard, then I take the spy, and if he's not, then I take the medic.
Right.
So it was either giving it your last spy or giving it your medic, which
yeah.
are basically non-starters. So that's how I knew it was safe to do that. Yep. So that was the details there. Yeah. So it's a free scout basically. So now I'm back to your turn. Sorry about that interruption.
No. So yeah, that was there was no choice for me but to let that unit go. I think I just did some damage to your wizard, if I'm not mistaken. Right. It still hasn't updated on my screen here, but okay. I think I brought
you poked him with the soldier, I think.
So I brought both snipers out in a single row, which is kind of nice to have, and then jabbed at the wizard and healed up that sniper. Oh, and brought the pyro forward. That was the other thing. So bringing a little bit more threat down low.
Mm-hmm. So let's see what I do here. The annoying thing for me is you've got this really nice formation set up, all centered around your medic, where you've got a lot of really scary units, and they're all within proximity of the medic heal. So one of the things that I think I've kind of failed to account for was, everything's great when you've got like so many units that they have to be all over the board. But now that we've traded a bunch and we've got down to a smaller unit size, you're in this kind of sweet spot where you have enough units to bunch around your medics, and you don't have so many units that they kind of have to be all over the place. You hit the sweet spot where all your important units can just be in this giant death ball around your medic, and they're all safe and they're all threatening still. And so that's making me a little bit sad here. So let's see what I follow up with. So I have no idea what happened here. I think let's see. I think I just moved up to this the speed tile here and use this wizard to. Sorry.
I'm sorry. I was just trying to make sense of my screenshot. Go on.
Okay. I think what I did is I just moved to the speed tile, and I think I poked the soldier twice. I think. And so was there a lot of damage on that spy beforehand? Oh yeah, there's a little bit. Yeah, so I think I hit the soldier twice. So I moved up, soldier twice, moved back, and I'm missing an AP here somewhere.
1, 2, 3, 4.
And I healed the wizard up.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So this is gonna force you to heal this sniper, and I'm not sure what the long-term play is here. I'm pretty sure I had one because I thought about these moves a lot, but
yeah, I mean it basically dictates my next move for me because I just spend the majority of the next. So there's not a whole lot going on from my end, I think.
Yeah, let me skip to your your move here. Oh, so you actually you're gonna take the wizard here.
Oh, did I take that trade?
Yeah, you did.
I'm crazy.
Yeah, I was. This was another move that surprised me too, because I was like, wow, wizard for the last spy. Like, yes, please. Do you have the screenshot?
Let me look here. No, I've got a gap here.
Okay. So you basically you YOLO it, and
Yep.
and you basically bring the spy and stab my dude in the back twice, and leave the spy there because you have to move your medic back into the corner to save it from this ninja. So yeah, this is a very interesting play because the fact that this last spy is going to be off the board is going to make my last archer a lot more powerful because there's nothing that's going to be able to block the line of sight for it.
Yeah, in hindsight, it's funny because I mean, looking at this now, I can't recreate what I was thinking there. It seems to my mind now like I would not have. I don't know why I made that move, to tell you the truth. I'm trying to think of like what pressure would I have been afraid of to not heal up. I'm not sure there. I have to confess. Can you go back to the previous one?
Yeah, it's going to take a few seconds to show up on your screen here, but and see, you let the sniper die as well.
Yeah, which also seems
it's a very aggressive move
for you. Yeah.
Yeah. What was going on here?
It seems like if I had healed up, I would have still been in a fairly safe position.
Yeah. The only thing that I wonder about is if there would have been a play basically to get my archer involved, and like move him in front of my my cleric there, and take you head on. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. It's so funny that I look at it now and I think, obviously, I spent the next turn healing.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought too.
Right.
Yeah. That was clearly not what happened.
So yeah, I think that's a questionable move, to tell you the truth. Unless there's some other scheme that I was afraid of, but I don't see an avenue of attack that you would have had that would have been clearly problematic for me. So, yeah, question mark. Clearly, somebody else was playing that move for me, so I can't explain it.
Yeah,
someone took my phone and made that particular move.
There was another one coming up later that really caught me off guard too. That I want to ask you about too. I'm not sure if it was in that category, but
I know the movie you're talking about. No, okay. I'll stand by that coming move. This one I can't stand by.
Okay. Well, don't worry. I've got one that I can't stand by either coming up too.
Oh, I know you do. I know that one too.
Oh boy. But yeah, so this is basically a forced move for me from this point. Like, I mean, there's a spy there. Take it.
Yeah, you gotta take it.
So, and obviously, I'm gonna take it with the cleric because I certainly don't want to give up this this scroll to anything, and I'm not sure what led me to move this exact combination. I think that I might have been protecting my wizard. I'm trying to look at the exact. I moved my knight down one. And I basically moved my cleric in kind of like a peculiar way. And there's definitely a reason for it, because I would not do something random like that without a reason. It must have had something to do with the Gerati on that wizard. Yeah. If I don't block this this tile in front of the wizard with that knight, then your soldier can come up 1, 2, 3, and then you can trade for the Gerati wizard there. So that's why I moved the knight down. I'm not sure why I moved the cleric there instead of something further back, but that part is less questionable.
It's funny that you mentioned blocking off the avenue of me making the trade for the soldier. Because later that's exactly what happens, right?
Yeah. Although you had to spend a little bit more to get it. Because
Let's see what happens.
You had to do the sandwich later on.
Oh, that's right.
So I'm moving on to your move here. So things kind of regroup a smidge.
Right.
You're basically clumped around clumped around your medic again, with even less units than before, but that's true for both of us. Mm-hmm. And you've healed up your soldier, and I think that's the only thing. You basically just reorganize, like you get your engineer up, you get your medic back up in front of the crystal, you get your soldier back, you heal them up, and your heavy's now in the middle of the clump as well. Are you able to see this turn?
Yep, I've got that screenshot too, so.
I'm not sure there's too much to say about it.
In my rack again, I've got another engineer, that Sandwich, the second heavy, a demo man, and my last respawn.
Are you down to 0 in your rack?
Yeah, no extra tiles coming at me. I've just got those 5.
Yep. So yeah, I don't think there's too much to say about this one. This one's just kind of a regroup turn.
Yep.
All right, let's move on to mine. So wow, this is aggressive. Why did I do this? So I moved my archer up to the attack tile, and I KO your soldier. And I think what I wanted to do here is first establish position where my archer is just more threatening, and second, to make it harder to link up with the soldier, because again, we're talking about 4 AP to heal and link versus well, in this case it's only 2 to KO, so that's pretty efficient. But you do have the ability to knock back that archer, which is kind of a 2-for-1, where I'd have to move back and heal up. So I kind of question in retrospect to how good this move would have been for me versus sorting the archer and doing something a little more conventional and in range of my my cleric.
Of the
healer.
Yeah,
but regardless, this is the. I think what my plan might have been was to use this as an opening and basically reinforce this position with bringing the cleric up from the backside and basically try to establish a foothold where I've got this archer on this attack tile, and if you get any closer, then it's only 2 swaps away from having a sorted wizard on the attack tile as well, which is quite scary. But in retrospect, I question how realistic this hope was for me. Because this is what happens.
For my part, I mean, my goal really here is pretty clear, and that's just to remove your offensive threats. So I'm just looking at defanging the tiger, and that means archer, ninja, sorted wizard. So I think most of my rationale for the rest of the game was just keep the medic alive, take out those 3 units, and after that's done, there wouldn't be anything else left to threaten the medic. So what do we got?
Yeah, interesting move here. You backed off.
Yeah,
and sandwiched.
Let me think. What was going on here? It's not a great sandwich position.
No, it's not.
Because it's not in range of the attack boost tile. It is in range of the speed boost tile.
Yep.
Which I think I end up using. Or no, I don't. Maybe I didn't even need it. But yeah, that is an interesting move. So long ago, it's hard to remember exactly what was going through. It's funny because we probably each studied through these moves really, really hard, but at this point, it's difficult to reconstruct that logic.
Yeah, you don't actually use the speed boost, so I'm going to jump ahead really quick because these next 2 turns are, or at least my turn is pretty straightforward, and then the action gets going. So cool. So all I do is I move back here, and I'm basically rope-a-doping a little bit, where I got all my units back on my side of the board, and you've got everything back on your position. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to put all my offense on the table and bring it. But basically, I want to get you out of your end because right now you're leveraging the edges of the board to limit the surface area on this medic, and I want you to spread yourself out and come at me, bro. So so really that's why I did that. And my theory is, this ninja has been sitting here too long, and now with the sword going on the archer, the threat to the medic is going to be reduced a lot because there's no possibility of like a one-hit KO ranged from the medic. So instead, I'm actually looking for an opportunity to burn this scroll on a good unit. Probably the heavy is the best use of it, but if I get an opportunity to like burn it on a unit, I feel like the point of I need to get this ninja in play. I've got so few offensive units left. Like I've got three offensive units, so I'm gonna need all of them to make this work. And this scroll is almost a liability at this point. Like it's done its job. It's kind of kept you on the back foot for the whole game, but it's time to basically use it in conjunction with the archer to try and reach a conclusion here.
It's interesting because that exact same effect happened with the other of my TF2 council matchups where I was council against. They call me Vic, and the exact same thing. The pre-scrolled ninja early game kind of wore out its usefulness, and I think that's kind of a common occurrence.
Yeah.
Once the TF2 player or whoever you pre-scrolled against kind of reaches equilibrium, and then it ceases to really be as much value as just having an unscrolled ninja would be, and so you kind of have to make that call of time to cut your, take your value and then get that unit back into play.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily a total loss for me because it has had like an effect on the game, and on its own, trading a scroll for like a heavy, for example, or like a sandwiched soldier or something like that is not on its own a bad trade. So it's not like it's going to go to waste.
Right.
But at this point of the game, it's just more valuable to have that ninja going nuts as opposed to sitting on my deploy tile, keeping it warm with the scroll.
Right.
So here's your next move, and this move caught me. I was not expecting this move. I felt I was extremely excited actually originally when you made this move. I felt like, man, his sandwich is gone. Like I've got this. Like spread him out and nuke him down. So tell me about this one.
This was again in line with removing offensive threats. I saw that you had 3, and my feeling was I should not pass up opportunities to take out any one of those 3. And so I didn't. So yeah, is this where I jump forward?
This is where you set the soldier up. You don't actually use the speed tile.
Yeah.
Or actually, I think you could have, but it doesn't make a difference.
Doesn't matter. Yeah. So he got up close enough to kill stomp the wizard, and basically just swapping soldier for sworded wizard. And I felt that with my offensive units left and your offensive units left, that if I did 1-for-1 swaps with our heavy hitters, that it would work out okay for me. Losing the sandwich, that was not great, and I'm still not sure why that particular sandwich was played at that spot. In hindsight, that I think was the questionable play.
Yeah.
But swapping the soldier for the wizard, I think that the wizard was a big concern of mine, as far as his ability just to do mass damage. And I liked having you down to just 2 offensive threats. I think that was the biggest thing for me. Was just consolidation of what I had to worry about.
The reason that I was so excited about this play on my end was this was the last 300 magic damage range 3 unit, and so my theory was, okay, that is the biggest threat to my units on the board. In retrospect, I'd say the heavies are something that I kind of undervalued in terms of offensive threats. But my game plan was, okay, like now I've got this ninja, which is going to have really good mobility, and I've got this archer, which is going to have really good range, and I'm just going to be able to outrange the army and pick away efficiently.
I'm remembering something else too, now that I'm looking at the board here, is that I really wanted to get my demo man, because I had 1 demo man left in my tile rack.
Right.
And those 2 heavies more involved, and I was conscious of that pre-Girardi and worried about you using that kind of against me with your positioning. And so my thought here was that once that Girardi was kind of spent and used, and I'd taken out that unit, I could get my demo men and heavies involved without worrying about wasting that.
Yep, that's
So
that's
I
totally
think that
legit.
was definitely on my mind as well.
Yep, totally legit. So that was a big play, and basically I've got a forced move to just KO him after that, and I moved my knight up, and I'm sure I had a good reason for doing that. It just escapes me.
I think because you could.
Yeah, probably. I I may have been wanting to get close to this attack tile for some swap nonsense, or just generally advance my position on the board. Yeah, I think it really was kind of a because I could turn. But yeah, not much to say about that. I got my last healer down, and now here's your next move. You are all cozy in that top right corner of the board here.
Yeah, so I set up shop up in the upper right.
Do you have the
I don't think I did much interesting beyond that. I think
Yeah,
I may have healed up a bit.
Yeah, let me look exactly. I'm not necessarily sure you even healed anything. Yeah, I don't think you did.
I think you're right, yeah. I was just looking to set up kind of a little, a fortress, as the team does.
Okay, so now that we've got this, now that we've got this situation here, so now I see my opening, and my opening is to move up here and basically grab this heavy. And the reason I can do that is because this pyro came up to the top side of the map, so this heavy is very exposed, and it's basically a scroll for a heavy trade, and it also frees up this ninja. So so for me, it's kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah, it was a good move, and this would be a theme I think of my end game here. As I think I made things more difficult for myself by abandoning units to be taken out. And there's a couple examples of that, and this is one of them. In general, you don't want to lose a major player like that without being able to counterattack, and this was I definitely did that.
Yep. So this move it just accomplished everything I wanted, and it took that guy off the board, and to boot, I get my my ninja on the attack tile, or I'm sorry, not the attack tile, the speed tile. So that's a bit of gravy. So yeah, like at this point of the game, like I'm like, all right, yeah, I got this under control. All right. Feeling very good about myself. This game provided many mood swings for me, like almost on a turn for turn basis. Is like, I've got this. Oh, I blew it. Yeah, I got this. Oh no. Every turn felt like that. So
like a great movie, right? It's
yeah. No, this was probably the best, certainly the most exciting and highest level game I think I've ever played, in terms of just like raw thinking that went into this. And the quality of the game. So now,
if you ignore the initial blunder that kind of set up all the drama,
there's a few mistakes, but that just made it more even in the end. It was right. some matchup karma, imbalance compensation. So let's look at your next move here. It looks like you're going to spend just developing up. You upgrade your pyro, and you heal up your sniper, and your heavy. Or no, not your heavy. What the heck? Where's the rest of your turns? And I think you took a pot shot on my my ninja with the demo man.
Right. I could not leave him there, so I knew that I either wanted to just spend some turns healing him, or just get him to clear out a bit.
Yeah, so the reason that you have to do that is because otherwise I can actually walk up and kill the demo man and then run back for free. But with the damage on them, if I do that, then he can be taken off by the pyro.
Right.
Yep, that makes perfect sense. So what do I do? Please tell me it's something smart. It's just something boring. So basically I'm consolidating my position here.
Right.
And clerics for everybody. That's what happens when you only have two offensive threats on the board. They all get their own cleric. Yeah, it's one of those positions where I can't really attack into you that well, and you can't really attack into me because I've got a ton of offensive threats that are very efficient, and you've got one healer, and we're all spread out, and you can't afford to be. So we're a little bit of an impasse.
I've got a ranged attacker problem. Demoman unassisted just can't deal enough damage output. So I had to look for opportunities where I could safely get my medic involved with bumping those Demoman's powers, and so that was kind of where I was angling for these next turns.
So I've bumped over to your next turn.
Okay.
So this is where you move the heavy up, and you've also upgraded your demo man there.
Right. So yeah. So and I think if it's the right screenshot, I moved my medic down. Is that right?
Let's see.
Or is that later?
No, the medic is still in the same spot. He's right above the crystal.
Then I'm missing another screenshot.
Okay. Yeah. No offense. This is purely a development turn, but it looks like you're basically threatening moving the heavy onto the attack tile. And the reason that's nice for you is moving that heavy on the attack tile prevents me from keeping my ninja on the speed tile.
Exactly. Yeah, the ninja had to go.
Yep.
And so with the scout in range of the stomp, and the heavy in range of the attack tile, I could force him to get off there.
And that's what I was mentioning earlier, where that scout really opened up a lot of options for you, because on its own, the heavy sure can deal a lot of damage, but Council can heal the damage, but you've got that scout that is able to stomp from basically anywhere. And that just caused problems for me. And so I have basically, this is maybe a questionable move that I do next. I basically just poke your crystal a little bit and move back. But I didn't really see any way to assault into this into this army. Like, any offensive move that I made just didn't work. And so it was either stalemate or poke crystals and give the initiative over. I think in retrospect, knowing how things went from this point, I might give a little more effort into something a little bit different, maybe. But it's kind of hard to say. Like maybe taking a poke on your demo. Yeah, taking like one poke on your demo and one on the crystal to like avoid giving all the momentum over.
Right.
Maybe. But it was tough at this point. It was pretty stalemated from my point. So your move is to bring the demo man down, and you KO my ninja there.
Right.
You want to say anything about?
Yeah, I'm waiting for the screen to update here.
Sure.
I'm not seeing.
Yeah, it's basically a straightforward move. Just KOs the ninja and does some damage onto the cleric supporting it.
Right. So let's see what's going on here. So I was I was kind of looking for a slow push forward, in a way that I could safely have that medic move forward with the group without getting so far advanced that you could sneak past me. So yeah, this was just part of the play. I knew that you'd probably involve some swapping coming up here, and I think that's what you ended up doing.
Yep.
And I remember somewhere along here, it was hard for me to tell which unit I'd wanted down below least. I mean, they both cause problems.
Right.
And so it was kind of a pick your poison for me about which unit was going to be down there. The archer was, of course, the biggest threat to my units in that position, because she's able to snipe them from afar. And I think we did a little bit of kind of jockeying back and forth here, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And I think I ended up moving a shift down. I think, yeah. So I'm kind of going through a slow shift down towards, because I knew that I couldn't let you take control of that speed boost tile.
Yep.
So that was my thought there. And this kind of goes back to what you said at the beginning, where really the attack boost tile is great, but it's the speed boost tile that kind of runs the board. And so I was trying to take away that speed boost tile from you.
Yeah, so yeah, I might skip a little bit faster going forward, because some of these turns are a little bit just kind of pinging back and forth. So it looks like
Should we move to the big one?
Yeah, I think so. So it looks like you bring your medic down, and then I heal my dudes, and then you bring your other demo on the board and link it up, and then I poke it down again, and I move my knight forward a little bit, and KO the other demo man, which would force you to break your link. And now, yeah, this is like a lot of jockeying. I don't want to like skip too far ahead, lest I get to the big moment here. Yeah, so now I kill 2 dudes.
And just as a reminder again, I've got in my hand an engineer, a demo man, and a respawn.
Yep.
That's what I've got going on.
Well, to the point where I'm at on the stream, you've actually played your other demo man.
I've deployed that demo man.
Yep. Yeah. So again, nothing much is really going on here. And here's the move that was YOLO on my part, and it seemed really brilliant at the time.
That's a great great Hero Academy quote right there.
Yeah, it is. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take out this demo man, and I accounted for every possibility but one. Every possibility except for the one you found would end with your medic dead. Believe it or not. I had 100% kill on your medic.
The heat. I was definitely feeling the pressure.
And I just didn't account for the one possibility. Like I literally checked like everything I could think of, and every play. Let me rephrase that. Every play that did not involve killing the knight involved your medic dying and being stomped, and maybe even without it. Because I don't remember exactly all the details. But I know for sure that I had worked out, like I was 100% sure that this was like the move that was going to win me the game.
Yeah.
Because I was like, your medic's going to die, and I'm going to have like my ninja and 3 clerics up, and then that's it.
Yeah. It's toast.
But unfortunately, you found a move that I didn't account for that involved taking my archer off the board. And basically, by moving the medic back here, it became safe from the ninja swap possibility. And you also took my +1 archer off the board, and so that was really a critical mistake, because now I basically gambled everything on getting the medic. I certainly would never trade that +1 archer away for a demo man without expectation of a better follow-up, unless I was incorrect about getting the better follow-up, obviously. But tell me a little bit about this move, because this was probably the move.
It was definitely, I mean, and all the moves leading up to here that we skipped, every move that I made, I had to, of course, check, your response, and then it was all about the medic.
Yep.
Is there an avenue that would leave me no safe place for the medic? And so I was definitely feeling the heat throughout this, because your archer was putting a lot of pressure on there. There was always the threat of the ninja swapping in for close range attacks. So it was when you made that attack initially, I felt that I had, like you said, that I had really blown it, and to have that knight up in so close without an easy avenue of getting things off the board. It took me a lot of just kind of looking at the board to work out whether this was indeed safe. But in the end, when I saw this move possibility, then I thought I had to second guess myself, because I thought that you wouldn't have given up that archer for just a demo man, like you said. So it definitely had some second guessing of myself as well, to confirm that it was indeed a safe place for my medic. But it turned out to be. So moving the demo man forward, getting the 3-hit KO on that archer, and then stomping with the scout, and then the crucial move, moving the medic back to that upper right.
Right. That was the one I hadn't accounted for. Beyond
the reach of the ninja. Yeah.
I was like, any move that he uses to block his medic, he won't have enough squares, But I didn't think about moving the medic itself. And unfortunately, that was
sometimes it's those little things.
It's the little. Yeah, I mean, it's those moves where it only works if you make sure that you account for every single possibility that are the most risky, because it only takes one oversight, and that's it. So yeah, that one hurt, but I wasn't ready to totally give up because I had a lot riding on this one. So
and
at
I
least
still had at least one big mistake left to offer you. So
yeah. So at least I'm going to try and take out this this demo man here with the ninja, because okay, I'll give it the archer, but if I get a +1 archer for 2 demo man, maybe I'll be able to kill enough units where the medic just has nowhere to hide from the ninja or something. And I'll be able to get some cute play with like the knight swap or something like that. And so yeah, taking out the demo man.
We're kind of reaching that dangerous position for you, though, where we're starting to reach the area where even if you could take out the medic, it's questionable whether you would have been able to win over the rest. So at this point, I was feeling pretty good.
Yeah, no, I agree. I still think that probably if I trade away the ninja for the medic, just straight 1 for 1, I'm good. Anything less than that is certainly gone in your favor. And even the ninja for the medic trade would not be a sure thing. But that's basically that's what I needed to happen. And so it was just like, okay, can I force you into some sort of mistake? Can I make you pull a Curie 42, as I like to call it? Shout out to Curie 42 for being the butt of my jokes and being synonymous for throwing games that are totally won with one gigantic blunder on the last move possible before winning the game.
Smashing defeat in the jaws of victory.
Yeah, and doing it in 2 consecutive games the exact same way.
Ouch.
Yeah, league games too. When you're like 43-3 in the league, yeah, becomes 43-5.
That's
where that comes from. Anyway,
66% more losses.
Yeah, and I didn't earn either of them. So, fortunately, you managed to pull a nifty move here to kind of spirit that demo man away.
Really, yeah. So I and this was just another one of those careless oversights. This was I mean, at this point, I felt that as long as I played safe, that I had things kind of wrapped up. But I also, again, with this kind of move down, I was kind of looking to shift things to make sure that speed boost tile was under control, and I didn't do that cautiously enough. So yeah, this was.
Yeah, so we're actually 1 turn ahead of the disaster.
Okay. So here I'm consolidating down low. I'm getting things all kind of wrapped up. I didn't want to lose the demo man, obviously, and then the healer is now more advanced than in terms of columns than I think he's ever been, moving up to that 3rd column. Hoping to get kind of my units clustered around that speed boost tile from which I can attack anywhere on the board. So.
Yeah, so here I'm sort of presented with a a choice here of what do I kill. I
couldn't save everything here, right?
Yeah, so I can definitely kill the scout, which is going to be nice because that scout has been causing me headaches for like the longest time. I can also take this engineer and basically reset it so I can take the engineer and then move back. I could take the demo man, but I would have to give up the knight for it, or a cleric. I could basically run over, knock it out with the ninja, and then swap something there to die next to it to the pyro. So that's less appealing. And to me, the most threatening thing here is the scout, just because it's provided you so many stomping opportunities so far in this game. So that's what I ended up taking out here. And let's see, your follow-up to that is just some more repositioning here and healing up. You brought the heavy over here, and boy, that pyro is so lonely over there. Jeez.
I know, yeah. That was he wanted to go it alone, and who am I to say no? He had a flamethrower.
brave man pyro.
Yeah. So yeah, this was I was feeling pretty good, and then I was feeling really bad. And then I was not feeling so good after this particular move.
Yeah, so this one's a forced move, and this is just a straight up kill on the pyro here. And because that scout is gone, now stomping becomes a problem. And you can take out this pyro, or I'm sorry, not the pyro. I took out the pyro. You can take out this ninja, but I've got these potions which have been they've got cobwebs all over them for being in my hand, sitting idle so long. But they're about to come into play here, because you can KO him, but you can't stomp him, and those potions can get him back and retreat him to safety.
Yeah. I think I made two unarguable mistakes in this game. And there was that opening one, and then this one right here, where you can't even make an argument for why it was defensible.
It did work out somewhat decently for you, though. Like it seemed really bad at first, and like at first I was like, wow, like I may not be able to win this game, but I'm much more back in it than I was like 2 turns ago. But in practice, I don't think it was as big a blunder, just in terms of how it worked out. And the reason is just this heavy on the potential for this heavy to get on the speed boost tile is so devastating to me, because the heavy can, when it's on the speed tile, can basically kill any unit that I have in this area. It's basically any unit that's not in the top 3,
right,
of my top corner there, is basically vulnerable, because a heavy in melee range to any unit that I have is a 3-shot, except for the knight, I think. But right. I mean, who cares?
Which is my whole goal, was to, and so they're kind of, you can see my forces kind of caterpilling over with the medic in the center. Just moving over to that speed boost. But it would have been so simple. I mean, just the engineer deployed at the upper rather than the lower would have been enough to prevent that loss. So just a pointless mistake there. Yeah.
So that was nice that I was able to get that, and unfortunately, so there's a few things going on here that made this move a little weird, and it was just the strength of that heavy position forced me to have to essentially give up this knight, because there was a move that existed here, and you're not going to see it for a few seconds, but my healers are lined up in a way that if you move this heavy forward a square, you could actually hit my back crystal and KO both of these clerics here.
Right.
And that would have been basically game over. And so I didn't have enough AP to save this ninja, move him all the way back, and heal him so that he'd be safe from the heavy, and also prevent that combo.
Right.
So I kind of had this awkward move where I kind of had to send my knight up, and it ends up being what would have been a pyro for a potion is instead a pyro for a potion and a knight that I really can't afford to give up, just over the strength of your board position, because I certainly would not wanted to have given up that knight if I could avoid it. But there again, it was the best of a lot of bad possibilities.
Yeah.
So your follow up is to KO it. And this has now become a kind of a chokehold. On the map.
So trade offered, trade accepted.
Yep. I was a little surprised you didn't stomp, actually, and with the demo man, because you could have.
Would I have been able to get him out safely?
You would have been able to go to the attack tile, and then move back. I think you probably would have been able to get him back safely. I don't think your move was wrong, but the possibility was there.
What did I do with my last?
You moved your heavy to the speed tile.
Yeah. So and my thinking there was the sooner that I can get on that speed tile and threaten moving that heavy anywhere, the better. And so I just wanted him on there.
Yep. Yeah. No, I don't think it was a wrong move at all. It was an interesting choice. So I was kind of hoping that you would stomp it, because it would be less better, but I was denied. So now I'm like in pure desperation mode. Like I need to make something major happen. Basically, I need to kill the medic and stomp it with the ninja in order to even have any sort of feasible chance. And with the heavy on the speed tile, there's there's like no safe place for my clerics to be on the map, and I'm basically trying to come up with something clever where this heavy can't KO 2 clerics in the same move, because if you look at the previous turn, moving the heavy to my gem tile ends in the death of both of these clerics due to the odd targeting
Right. And
range.
that's tricky too, isn't it? I mean,
Yep.
that's one of the toughest things about facing the heavy is just remembering or in some cases trying to figure out how the heck he fires.
Yep. Yeah,
In some
there's some
cases, it's far from obvious.
weird rules about that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I basically come up with this configuration here, which revives my knight, even though he's obviously stompable by this heavy now. And I think by the demo man as well. But since you didn't stomp him, I'm in, like, try and make something happen mode.
Right.
And this was the best I could come up with. And in response, you take him off the board. I'm not sure exactly what you used here to take him off the board.
Yeah, I'm out of screenshots. I think something happened to my...
How did this happen? How did you take him off the board? You stomped him.
I'm guessing that I moved the heavy up to stomp.
Yeah, that's right. So you took 3 shots with the demo man to KO, and then you speed tiled up to there, and then you had two moves to move the heavy back down.
Right.
So it's basically just a free kill on the knight, and really this is just being it's just a straight up just playing out the end here. There's nothing too much exciting that's going to happen. I make a last ditch effort to take out this demo man here to try and set up
this was an interesting move. This was an interesting move that I had to think about for a while here.
It's pure desperation on my part.
Well, you're looking for those little safe spots where you can sneak the ninja around.
Yeah. And this healer configuration on my side of the board is basically the only thing I could come up with that didn't involve 2 of my clerics being KO'd by the heavy. Mm-hmm. I think it was I think it may be the only possible configuration where there's some sort of safety there, because I tried a lot. I probably tried them all, in fact. But let's see how you respond.
So yeah, I had to be careful here because I was, and especially fresh off of my loss of the pyro.
Right.
I definitely didn't want to set up something where you could jump the ninja in and take out my demo man and run away. So, although, I mean, to be honest, it probably would have been okay. Anyways, I was just I was very cautious of giving you any more free kills. So
yeah, absolutely.
I had to think about this one for a while.
Yeah, so you basically saved the demo man and did a bunch of damage to my ninja, which is smart because my healers are very far away from my ninja, and I cannot both heal him and maintain my offense.
Right.
So I had to pick one. And obviously healing is a losing strategy with that heavy on the speed tile, because you're just going to take a cleric, and I can't be a unit here, a unit there given away, and all of a sudden I have 0 units. I chose to try and do something a little bananas, because my position was so weak anyway that basically swapped in a healer close by to see if maybe something magical could happen. But it was beyond reach as you took out my ninja.
Yep. And no ninja?
No ninja, no more problems.
Yeah, that was that kind of solved everything there.
So yeah, I took the KO on the sympathy KO on the medic, because yay, I got him, go me. Unfortunately, you had that. Oh, that's the last screenshot even. I think I resigned after this because you could just freely respawn the medic and take out the cleric, and there was basically nothing for me beyond that point. So there's no point in me playing it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, like this was a really, really good game.
It was a good game.
There was a few big mistakes, but I honestly like even the best games that I've played always involve 1 or 2 big mistakes.
Yeah, it's hard to. I don't think I've ever had a game that was perfectly played on both sides. I think that just doesn't happen. And even the games where you didn't make any major mistakes, sometimes they can be hidden if the mistakes aren't capitalized on. So it's hard to say that there's ever been a perfectly played, truly perfectly played game. But yeah, it was a fun game. It was very stressful, and there was a time, and I was worried because you don't want to be the guy who loses STF2 to Council. In the group stages. So there was a little bit of pressure going on there.
I was really sad with how the matchups ended up working out. For those of you guys who haven't been following the Trip Pick 6 tournament, basically the way the group pool was set up was we kind of did like a round robin picks of our squads, and we'd pick an opponent, and then we'd pick the squad that we would use against them, and then they could counter pick among the squads that had not been used against that particular player. The picks were kind of confusing, but in the end it boils down to everybody's playing different squads against everybody else, and there weren't very many repeats. But both of my match against Trip and my match against Monkey Warlock, I felt like I didn't get the best matchup lineup in my two hardest matchups, and then in the other ones, like I got Dwarfs against Council, and I got Tribe against Dwarves. So those were like two really strong matchups, and I think I got what did I play against Kevin? I got Shaolin Mirror against Kevin, having come off winning the Shaolin Mirror tournament where I played like 8 Shaolin Mirrors. So I was like super confident, like zero chance I'd lose that match. Like nobody could beat me in Shaolin Mirror. I played 8 of these matchups. Like I know exactly how to play it. So I was like,
now watch your screen. You're just about to get a bunch of Shaolin challenges.
Oh no, bring it. I don't. Well, except for Dragon Reborn. Don't Dragon Reborn. Like, dude, if Dragon Reborn and I play another Shaolin Mirror match, like I'm gonna cry. Like I don't know if you followed any of those commentaries I did, but we had like some of the games where my Shadow was like moving 2 turns, poking a crystal down, and then moving back, for like 100 damage. And that was like the cycle.
So it ends at what, like 210?
Yeah, like I think one of the games got to 150 moves before, and like I killed like 2 of his crystals through that sequence. It was bad. Like the games were like really high quality, but it just got really tiring.
They can get like that. It seemed like from the reports that you two gave that your Shaolin Mirror match was actually pretty fast paced.
From Kevin, the one I played against Kevin was very fast paced, due to he got a really great draw and I got a really bad draw, and then I kind of had to YOLO it, and he made a mistake and violated Commandment 1 of Shaolin, which is don't trade away your shadow.
Never lose your shadow.
Never lose your shadow. And then it was just kind of like a weird. It was a weird game that ended in like 35 turns or something like that, where it ended up in like a failed crystal rush for him. But it's just a weird. It was a weird game.
So and along those lines, so that group phase ended, and and Elagatua and I. How do you say your
It's Elagatua.
Elagatua.
But I'm not too picky.
So we ended up 1 and 2, and so we're currently in a match to determine the final first place. And,
did you see my last move? I think you messed up.
I haven't seen it. Oh no, did I mess up?
Yeah, you gave me an Impaler for free.
Well, it was kind of a tough position to choose anything.
Oh, I agree. Your opening draw has not given you any favors in that. Like, no, I could tell you were
rough opening draw.
Yeah, I could tell you were fishing for priestesses, and you gave up that huge heavy. Like, I can't believe I got 2 void monks early on. Like monster void monk strategy just shut down from turn 3.
No
so
monster
I was
void strategy. Yep, it was a rough opening. I've kind of been scrambling to make headway since then.
Yeah.
But anyways, it's and I think that I ended up with some favorable matchups, partly because Dark Elves, who don't have many positive matchups, I ended up not playing them. So I'm paying for that now, and it may end up costing me in the long run. But
yeah, I was still even a little salty because I would say that Dark Elves of the matches against TF2, Dark Elves probably have it best out of everybody else, maybe other than Dwarves. Because Monster VM is just so strong.
Right.
And so I was super salty because I was like, man, if I get Monkey Warlock in the finals, then I get TF against Council, I think. Or some of the other matchups were more favorable, and so I was kind of hoping that you wouldn't make it, so I would get a more favorable matchup. But
yeah,
I think so far so good for me. We'll see. Maybe we'll have to do another video commentary after that one's done, because this has been awesome.
Yeah,
Thanks so
really
much
fun.
for coming on.
Sure thing.
Definitely, we had a high in viewers tonight of those watching the stream. So thanks so much everybody for tuning in. But yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure co-commentating with Trip tonight, and thanks so much for coming on. The insights were first class, and this is probably about as good as it's ever going to get as far as a Hero Academy strategy commentary goes. So thanks again.
Thanks for the invite. It was lots of fun, and yeah, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, so definitely we'll have to do it again sometime, maybe later on. Hopefully not have such a long match to commentate, because my voice is about to cry on me. But yeah,
sounds good. We'll see how this match goes. Yeah,
definitely looking forward to seeing how that turns out. So I'm going to say goodbye now to you, Trip. Thanks again for coming on, and I'm going to wrap up the stream real quick. So
sure
thanks
thing.
again.
All right, take care.
Take care. All right. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I think I am too tired to do any more streaming tonight, because this was 2.5 hours of solid talking there with Trip. But Merry Christmas, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Again, thanks to all of you for tuning in. There's more viewers than I think we've had on any other night, so I really appreciate it. But yeah, have a Merry Christmas. Think of this as our Christmas gift to you. For all your Hero Academy strategy needs. And we'll be back in the new year. I think the stream is going to take a little bit of a break over the holidays, because I am going to be out of town until mid-January, so I will not have my streaming set up with me. So we'll probably pick up the stream back in probably the second or third week of January. So yeah, until then, thanks everybody for tuning in, and I will see you then. Merry Christmas and have a Happy New Year.